So yeah, he's sort of finding the puzzle pieces, having to very carefully get them out, place them, peel the top off, and then this is the example of the non-lacquered.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, it's a translucent lacquer, isn't it?
Yes.
And then the lacquered, and you can see how it changes the colour of the wood.
Wow.
Yeah, but over a month. And yeah, if one piece doesn't quite fit, he has to very carefully file it to make it fit into place.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So your customers can actually specify how they want.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be this. This is an example of the design that we've had from the Phantom Rose, the roses that are grown at Goodwood.
Okay.
But if you wanted, your own design, whatever, we can try and make it work.
Just about anything.
Yeah. People have asked about maybe their pets and stuff like that, made out of marquetry design. It's something that we can do. So the possibilities are endless, really.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is a species of rose that is just at Goodwood.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's the Goodwood rose. It's our own species.
Wow.
Yeah. Because you can see a completely different style of fascia there as well.
Nice. Yeah, you can just about do anything, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you can try if you'd like. This is a slightly simplified version. Mm-hmm. But what you do is, there's like a puzzle. So you take one piece out.
Yep.
And then you find the corresponding piece. So like, for example, that one would be that one.
Yep.
And then you just carefully take it out and put it in and have to get it into place.
Sort of
Do you want
roll
to
it.
try?
And that's my resume for
Yes, exactly.
You can't be too good at it.
For
though,
being hired.
Otherwise, you might take my job. So.
Yeah, Brett will judge.
I've never been good at this.
You wanna do it?
You want to try?
It's okay.
Yeah.
It just gives you an idea of what it's like.
I don't even have the patience to wash my own car.
I know.
I don't wash my own car.
Yeah, you do need a bit of patience,
These
unfortunately.
guys have the patience of a saint.
Nice.
Did you ever see Le Rose Noir Droptail, our coach build model that we launched last year?
Yeah.
And it has a lot of marquetry and parquetry on there. And yeah, it
The
was one of your
rear panel
colleagues.
has about 700 pieces in it.
Nice.
So,
Triangles.
as you can imagine, it's a long process.
Yeah.
Lovely.
One of your colleagues was sitting in his own room every day, so that he was isolated, and every hour having to take breaks to fix concentration.
Headphones in.
Yeah.
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 Nice.
Quite intense.
Yeah.
Lovely. So just about anything. So someone can
Pretty much, yeah.
can have their to be on watch, just
Yeah.
blow it up
We work.
and have every gear, every lever
Yeah.
printed in there.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
We work closely with the design team, and we just
Yeah.
go back and forth to see what we can do. But
Nice.
if you went to the design team and asked for pretty much whatever you want, I'm sure we could make it work. So
Yeah.
Lovely.
pretty exciting.
Thank you.
Did you meet Phil last night? He'll be able to tell you.
Hi, I'm Bobby.
Hi Bobby, nice to meet you. Phil.
Nice
I'm
meeting you.
responsible for
Nice
Bespoke.
meeting you.
Hello.
From Bespoke. No.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Hi guys, nice to
Bobby.
meet you.
Yeah, so Bobby was just asking about the fact that a client can have any type of fascia, any sort of design. I'm sure in your time, especially
Yeah.
because you were working on the inside before.
No, absolutely. Maybe I'll show you a couple of
All right.
examples.
Okay.
As well.
You don't mind if I record this, right?
No, that's
Okay,
fine,
cool.
Fine. Go ahead. I'll maybe give her a chance to
No
finish
problem,
up
no
so
problem.
Before we have a quick look at the
No problem.
samples.
Sorry, are we in the road?
We used to be in the road. That's where you like to be, isn't it? There, behind the wheel and not on the road.
Wow.
So here we have a couple of examples of the kinds of things that are possible, but really these are just examples. What we really like to do is work with clients and help make their dreams, their passions come true.
Yep.
But what you can see here is, at first glance, it looks like a normal technical fiber that you would see in a black badge.
Yep.
But what you can see there is that in the lacquer, we've actually added
Blue.
some metallic particles. So
Yes.
you can see the blue shimmer
Yeah.
that you achieve on there.
Yes.
And depending on the angle, you either catch it or you don't.
Yeah.
So it's really a nice subtle touch.
Very nice.
And you can imagine blending that with other, let's say, blue or complementary color highlights on the interior, and really make the whole thing really very coherent.
Yeah.
What we also have is some
What a nice touch.
amazingly talented artists in our team.
Yeah.
and they're able to do things like this. This is just an example, but so on here you've got a base wood, then you've got a high gloss lacquer, and then on this side you can see that we've got some tint in the lacquer, obviously going from a deeper shade to a shallower one. You can see here the grain of the wood actually through the water, coming through, and then all of these hand painted, absolutely hand painted waves. Yeah, so this is absolutely unique, done by hand. So Adriana, the artist who actually did this, is very, very talented, and she will have worked here on actually a number of different layers. So we'll apply a couple of coats of lacquer, we'll sand it, we'll polish it, so it's perfectly flat like a canvas. Then she will add detail. Then you'll get a couple more layers of lacquer, sand, polish, and then work on different levels, so different depths within the lacquer to give you that three-dimensional feel. And you know, it's really fabulous what you can see there. Actually, the details of the wood coming through, and it looks like a wave breaking onto a beach. Effectively. And this is, if you like, just let's say one interpretation.
So this is the part where the aircon vents are, right? And that's the volume. No. Where's the clock? Where does it sit? I lost my.
On the clock will be here,
Right?
So actually, no, the clock is above. It's over here.
Oh, it's above it.
Because on here, then you have the illuminated fascia.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you have the clock here at the 7th. Yes.
Yeah, I was a bit like, where was the clock?
You make me think for a second. Yes, that's funny.
Okay.
This is another a fun one. This is on the picnic table. So in the rear, on the picnic table. And this is what we call an inlay. So the detail outline. So this is actually made of a sheet of metal that's been laser cut to a specific outline. So this is again something very specific that the client will have demanded. We will have lacquered, polished, fitted the inlay, and then lacquered and on top of that. So it's effectively floating below a layer of lacquer. And again, you know, the possibilities are endless in terms of what you can bring as interpretation. So our aim is to, you know, master a wide range of techniques. And then be able to then actually then talk to the client, understand what it is they're trying to achieve, and then do something really unique for them based on that, let's say, toolkit of techniques that we have available to us.
Can someone, that means even if your customer wants to swap out the clock and put in one of his own very own, which is the same millimeter diameter, they can if they want to.
So it depends on what kind of models we're talking about. So what we have done in the past, at the very, let's say, pinnacle, so coach build, is we've integrated a timepiece from the client, exactly what they wanted, integrated into the fascia of the coach build. So that's a level of bespoke that's really very high, and it requires a level of geometrical integration. So it's not something you could just go, hey, I'm going to order a ghost and then I'm going to put my clock in. But it's something that's technically possible, and that we have done on a number of occasions.
So if I have two Patek Philips, I put one there, and the other one is the exploded version of the tourbillon, all the gears and everything. Inlaid into here. That would cost me a lot of money.
But I'm looking forward to working on that.
That would be cool, huh? There's like a combination, and then the clock was there.
Absolutely. We're very aware that our clients have very often got a fascination for timepieces. So having the opportunity to reflect that is
lovely.
great.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Time for coffee. And we'll look around. Thank you, sir.
Can I show you something off camera?
Sure. All right, off camera.
I actually have the Ghost Extended Reserve, possibly, for the back of my mind. Yes, but we'll have that. Obviously, you have the luxury of you're staying with us another night. So there's lots of opportunity for content creation, using other cars, additional driving. If you don't want to have a glass of vino at lunch, then instead of being chauffeured back, you can be driven. So a variety of cars available for you today.
There is no embargo on the driving impressions. Obviously, the evolution of the car has been predominantly design based, so we're not embargoing driving impressions. However, there is a really lovely story we're looking forward to telling you about that will be under embargo. Some of you briefly met Annabelle Coffinet at the drinks last night. She is who we lovingly call the Nose, and she has designed a scent for Phantom, which will be available to our clients from January next year. So that is one story that will be under embargo, the 21st of January, 1 p.m. UK time. I'm sure sorry, my voice is departing me. Juliana will remind you of this embargo and be able to give you the full press release and information. But we will have a Phantom on display at the lunch venue, and Annabelle Coffinet will be there to talk you through how she's kind of created this scent. So that's a really beautiful story for later on. We have a variety of spokespeople with us, some of whom you met last night. So as the day goes on, you will have Steve Finch, our product expert, who was with us at dinner. Juliana Blasi, our head of exterior design. Now she will be with us right through until the coffee stop, but she won't be joining us for lunch. So I know there have been some requests for interviews and conversations with her, so the coffee stop will be the best opportunity to do that, and so we'll make sure we facilitate that for you. At the coffee stop, we also have our craftsperson Brett Lamb, who's working on a ghost fascia at the moment. He does things with woodwork and wood that shouldn't be deemed possible. So do chat to him. You'll see him making this gorgeous good ghost fascia later on. And of course, we have Phil Fabre de Lagrange, our head of Bespoke, our general manager for Bespoke, and he will be joining you at dinner tonight, but he will also be here throughout the entire day. He was with us at dinner last night as well. And of course, your esteemed PR spokespeople as well. We'll have Emma with us for the day, and of course all the colleagues that you met earlier. Photography and video. So our photo video team work extremely hard because we have all completely different specs of cars. So we have, let me think off the top of my head, we have 18 cars in total, but 2 of which are in Renzo Piano that you saw. So they have quite a lot of cars to get through from photo video requirement side of things. So there have been quite a few cars that have been prioritised for B-roll. So I know a lot of you are doing video content. So when we get down to the cars, we'll make sure that throughout the day we're putting you in the right cars to support your filming and editing needs. We'll have a full photo video team with us. So 2 photographers, 2 videographers, and one of the photographers also is a videographer as well, so we can dial up the video capacity, which I think this is always the most video. You win the award for the most video heavy rotations, so we'll really do everything we can to support you. There are opportunities throughout the drive, so your drive, which Gareth will take you through shortly, will be 90 minutes the first drive and 90 minutes for the second drive, with changeover points at each point. Now, once you go away on the first drive and come back, the coffee stop, there is opportunity to make the most of that coffee stop, as I said, with interviews, some content creation, etc. But then on the second drive, there is a driver changeover point that happens to be in a really beautiful chateau location that makes a great backdrop. So that second changeover point on the Black Badge drive is also a good opportunity. But don't stay too long, because then actually, of course, when you get to our lunch stop 45 minutes later, that really presents itself. We'll be lining up the cars beautifully, and there's a little bit of a fresh looking backdrop for you to take a look at, and that will look really nice in the photos and videos. As I say, if you want to do further driving, then you can drive after lunch. You can take a route back to here and obviously do more driving until the sun goes down. And yes, we do have an incoming group as well that will be coming, so you'll see those guys when they're here. They're doing exactly the same as you did yesterday, so I think you guys, as long as you're focusing on the Ghost and Black Badges, they're all yours, so we can definitely support all your requirements, hopefully. So that's enough from me. I'm going to hand over to Gareth, who's just going to talk you through a little bit about these routes and some key watch outs for driving in the area.
Great, yeah, thanks Jo. Okay, yeah, it's great to see so many familiar faces, you might have seen me and part of the team around. We're part of your product expert team from Rolls Royce. So we're lucky. We get to travel the world and meet you guys and talk about the cars and hand over the cars and explain everything that we have about the product. So it's great. We have a team that's going to be out with you today to hand the cars over here for Ghost, and then they're going to be with you handing the cars over on Black Badge Ghost too. And we have got, you will have experienced the guys yesterday, we have the chauffeur team, some of which are product experts. So any of these guys, you can ask questions about the cars. And in fact, I'd like you to test them as much as possible. And if they can't give you the right answer, I want to know. So we've spent quite a bit of time here in Provence and Marseille to find the best road routes for you and to suit the characteristics of the car. So the first route that we've got for Ghost Route, we're going to start at Château-le-Coste. We come out and we drive through beautiful small French villages where the roads are a little small and narrow and windy. And then we've got some long straight routes that you can start to feel more comfortable in the car and great surroundings and so, great for video footage. Some of the speed limits that we have on those are actually quite low, and especially when you sat in the sanctuary of the Ghost, it feels exceptionally slow. So that's the great opportunity to then really become familiar with the car. On the first route that we have a driver changeover point. It's about halfway, and it's going to be signposted by two of our product experts, Sam and Steve. Human signage is always the best. They'll be there, they'll be waving, they'll have the boards, and you'll be able to pull in. And it's a little bit of a lay-by, but it's quite a large lay-by, and again, quite quiet. So again, pictures, it's a nice place to be. If there's any questions that you have about the car from that first 35-40 minutes of driving, please just ask Stephen and Sam, and they'll help you out. There is, however, we've started to drive the route, but as we do, just to make sure the route is clear, there is a small diversion on this route in about 20 minutes into the route, but it's not a problem because the waypoints that we've got set into the satellite navigation system to make sure we stay on the route that we've provided don't get involved in that. So follow the deviation signs, and that will bring you back on to the route, to the driver changeover point. Now, as we say, with the routes that we have, both for Ghost and for Black Badge, we've got numbers of waypoints in there to make that route possible. And we want you to follow that route because, again, it creates the right characteristics for the car. It's going to take us to the changeover points. The lay-by, yes, maybe not as exciting as the second one for Black Badge, where we have you dropping off at the Chateau Viron winery, which is literally just past a great lake vision as well. So once we've done that route, we would say, please stay on those routes, stay on the routes with the waypoints. The first one actually only has 4 waypoints. And as you know, with the satellite navigation system, we have to drive through the waypoints to continue to the next. So please, let's stay on those routes. This one actually has 7 waypoints because it's a little bit more of a complicated route. A, because we want to get you to that driver changeover point, and then B, just on this second part of the route, this is a little bit more on the sort of more of the highway, motorway type driving. So again, it gives you the opportunity to try the cars at speed, as opposed to this first part, as you can see here, is really the windy mountain routes as we go. So 2 smashing routes that will show you the characteristics of both Ghost and Black Badge Ghost. So we do have a few little rules and regulations of the roads. And I know that you're all accomplished at driving in many parts around the world.
Sorry, Garrett, just while you're on the routes, if we're doing a driver change in the middle, is there a recommended, should one person drive, should we separate the highways then?
Yeah, we can do. So on the first route that you're going to do this morning, the first part of it is the easier part of the route, let's say. So more straight roads, sort of 50 Ks, that type of thing. The second part of the first route is a bit more of the windy driving back into Villa-le-Coste.
Yep.
So again, if we want to take a little bit of a sort of more relaxed first drive, then the first part of first drive would be the best to do that.
So if you're driving the first route, if you're the first driver, should you be the second driver on the second one?
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
AB, I would recommend AB, AB.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Indeed.
Cool.
Yeah. Great. So we've mentioned we are in Provence, and I mean it's just an amazing place to be. Lots of very small roads that are around these French villages. Just as we head out, we do have a little narrow bridge that we cross over. So again, let's just beware, there's lots of big lorries as well as the big Rolls Royces driving around and about. So let's just be aware of, again, who has priority over these areas. Within about 10, 11, 12 minutes of leaving, we'll get to this junction. Now, there's many junctions that we're going to take. The satellite navigation's on, and we'll talk about the spoken voice on that too. But just be aware of this one, where we've got that great line of cypriot trees and these little red signs, we're actually just going to veer off to the left. If we don't make that, and I'm just saying that because it's the very first point, if we don't make that, let's not worry, because it'll re-navigate you around a triangle there. But it's just something to keep our minds on. Through the villages, you will come across speed ramps. They love them here, and they're big. Not a problem for us, but they're big, and some of them don't have the best, most freshest paint markings on them. So again, let's just beware when we see these, because they do crop up, don't they? At times that we're not going to be sure about really. There's a few large curbstone areas. So again, let's just, with the width of the cars that we have, let's just perhaps take our time if it gets that little bit narrow. And if you do get into any problems, just take your time. Okay. Nothing better than a serene, slowly moving Rolls Royce, is there? Nothing at all. There are, though, a few speed cameras en route, so let's just be aware of those. We'll see quite a few of these. Doesn't mean the speed cameras. There's about 3 or 4 en route, and they look something similar to that. So let's just perhaps be aware of those. Now we've got basically 40 Rolls Royces in this area for this 3 weeks that we're here. So the police know that we're here. So again, where we've got the speed signs, where we've got the giveaways and the priorities, let's just make sure that we sort of represent the brand as it is when we're out and about. That'd be amazing. If we do have a problem, as always, you'll be used to in the car, we do have a phone that's in the car that's attached to the car for lots of different reasons. One is that we can track you, not that you're going to disappear and head off to Paris and have a great time. But if you do have any issues, that we can come and find you with the tail car, just in case there are any things that we need to help you with. So first of all, in the center console, you will find the phone. That phone's linked to the car, and I'll show you how you can contact us if you do have any issues. With that in mind, because that phone is linked to the car, to make sure that the whole day runs smoothly, we'd ask you not to connect your phones to the car. However, we have music in the car through Spotify that's streamed through the car. So if you wish to change the music, then please just go into Spotify and you can search anything you like there. However, we do have a great playlist that's in the car, which your product expert will go through with you too. We did have somebody pair a phone yesterday, which sadly made them head off route, and they were 45 minutes late for lunch. So if we can try to make sure that stays the same, that would be brilliant. And just make sure that we have our driving licenses in our pockets. So in the car, we've made sure that you'll be all familiar with our soft keys that we have in Rolls Royce. We can gently glide our finger over these chrome buttons to find out what shortcuts we've created for you. And just on the satellite navigation system, when you hover over one, it'll highlight what that is. So number 1 is the emergency contact. So if you do have a problem, please press number 1. It will automatically dial the emergency contact. On the other side of that, like our friends yesterday, if the phone rings in the car, please answer it, because it will be us. No one else knows you. Okay? It'll be us, so we're only doing it to help. So if the phone rings, just pick the phone up. That'd be fantastic. Number 2 is heads-up display. So again, depending on where the seat is positioned, we can raise and lower the heads-up display to give you the great full vision of the speed that you'll be travelling at, because yes, we've got that very clearly on our new digital dashboards, fascias, but also in the heads-up display, if we do go 1 mile an hour over, or 1 kilometre an hour over the speed, it will turn red. So it just gives you a little bit of an idea, as well as gives you the satellite navigation. So setting the height for that is fine. We get straight to that by pressing number 2. The spoken navigation. So again, just to make sure, sometimes people like that spoken navigation on, so you don't have to think about it as you're driving along. But then again, if you're trying to find some time to do some video footage, you don't want to have that spoken navigation. So please, you can turn that on and off just by pressing number 3. The playlist, as we said, Spotify, press number 4, it starts, press number 4, it stops again, but it will open the screen also for Spotify. So if you want to find your own music within that, please do. That's not a problem. Now, number 5, the steering intervention. Basically, our lane keep assist. On Ghost Series 2, the lane keep assist intervention is stronger than it was in our previous model. So the vibration through the steering wheel and the alteration to bring you back into line is stronger. Now, in some cases, people like that. In some cases, people don't. So if you don't indicate, whoa, it'll really steer you in the opposite direction. So if you wish to turn that off, it initiates every time the car starts. So you'd have to go in every time by pressing number 5. It'll come up on the screen. Do you want to deactivate that? Press the screen, and then you won't have any steering intervention. If we, on our route, do happen to get lost, or we do happen to take a slightly different turning, the satellite navigation system will take you back to the last waypoint. So if that's behind you, you might find yourself going round in circles. But if we haven't got to that first driver changeover point, if you press number 6, it'll change the satellite navigation system and take you straight there. So again, that's a safety if you wanted that. And the same, if you've done the driver changeover point, we're en route, we get lost. By pressing number 7, it will take you back to the first drive, here Chateau Lacoste, and the second drive, the more important lunch stop. And then again, number 8, as we always have in all of our cars, number 8 is the Spirit of Ecstasy, raise and lower. So again, great for video footage should you want that. So, we have some driver disclaimers for you that we'll hand out. If you could keep those driver disclaimers on you at the coffee and craft stop and take them to your black badge, that would be great. The product experts will complete the registration numbers for you, but it's just an important piece of paperwork to keep with you. Just at Coffee and Crafts, I have just been asked to mention, it's a 90-minute drive for the first route, and then it's also a 90-minute drive after. During that hour of Coffee and Crafts, should you wish to take use of the laboratories, please do, because en route then it just becomes that little bit more difficult, just in case, just so we know. And then we're going to head down, we're going to head out into the courtyard. I know we've got extended reserved for some. There may be other colours that you wish to take because of B-roll or just the colours that you wish to take. All the specifications as in how the cars drive are the same, it's just obviously the colours and the trims that are going to be different. It's going to be like a Le Mans start, you know. The first people down there through the wooden doors, boom, straight to the car, and your product expert will meet you at the car. They'll introduce themselves and they'll get you comfortable and set up in those cars too. Once we get to the lunch stop with Black Badge, as Georgina said, the cars will be, after you arrive, we'll spend about 10-15 minutes lining the cars up, and then there's a beautiful scenery and everything else that you can come back down to. And because we're coming back here this evening, we've got no definitive times to have to leave the lunch stop, which is brilliant. As Georgina said, if you want to drive the cars back after lunch, that's fine, but we do have a very, very, very strict nil alcohol rule at Rolls Royce. So if there's any question on that, just please do shout, but just so we know, because some of the wines are incredible. Yeah. Great.
Thank you.